Hi there, my fellow dungeon crawlers. I'm Iken, and we're sitting at part 2 of the human Fire Elementalist. Yeah, so last time we went through the early game, we explained some macros, we learned some spells, we picked up Sifmuna as our god, and I had to pretend that Dungeon 4 didn't exist because of the list of baddies here. So I want to have a quick check about my situation here. And yeah, a lot of equipment slots are left open, but overall, we're sitting at a good spot, kind of. Spellcasting rates are still rather not so cool. And off to Dungeon 5 we go. So, one thing which is interesting to say here is I heard the hiss of falling sand, which means there's an ossuary on this floor, and if I have magic mapping at my disposal, I always use these to know where the entrance to this area will be. And luckily it's not far away. Found a new scroll. It's amnesia, but I don't need amnesia. Overall, ossuary is a very nice place to grab up some XP and some good consumables. And yeah, we're gonna head directly to this because this entrance will shut down eventually. So we're gonna cast some Conjure Flame here, or not. So that's another good use of Conjure Flame. Undead enemies are not able to take safety measures and will just walk blindly into this fire and get toasted by it. But sadly, it didn't live long enough. That's kinda sad, but we're gonna chop through these manually. And a new scroll. It's a scroll of recharging, but I don't have any wands. So let's get into this. There's a bunch of mummies. That would be normally pretty scary, but mummies are very vulnerable to fire, so chances are I can just burn them down. Another good thing about mummies is they are slow, but I got a sentinel's mark on me. That's bad. So that means with all these alarm traps hanging around here, I triggered one, and chances are I have to leave this area immediately. Mummies are slow. That's the only good thing here to say. I have heal wounds at my disposal, so I can just heal this up. Mummies hit for up to 20 damage. That's something I gotta take seriously. I just try to kite around a bit and recharge my mana, because this mummy moves slower than me. Alright, we got this. I'm gonna wait a bit, and there's more mummies. These are normally pretty dangerous for a spellcaster, but considering the fire magic and their vulnerability to fire, it's no problem. Alright, that looked really scary in the beginning, but turned out I'm fine. Okay. Ooh, I was a bit scared for a moment. I'm marked again. Yet somehow these guys are not reacting like I expect to. Centaur zombies are a bit scary because they have a lot of HP, but I burned it down without any bigger problems here. Alright, that's a lot of alarm traps here. Big cobalt zombie. Let's keep flame tongue him. Alright. Good thing about being a human fire elementalist is the fact that I have a lot more base HP than the more frail races. That's why I just stand and burn kind of here. Alright. And marked again. A lot of traps in here. But somehow the Sentinel's mark doesn't work on undead. Like I thought it would. So let's pick up the loot. Lots of potions. Sadly, I have no ID scrolls left. Scroll of Holy Word. Alright. It's a good find. Okay, there we go. That's actually everything done here. A ruined spear. I still have remove curse available, so let's try that. Vampiric spear. I'm really not interested in a vampiric weapon here as a spellcaster, and especially a spear has a really low base damage, and this makes it altogether not too interesting. Again, work around, block the path with the Conjure Flame spell and kill it off safely. A Scroll of Immolation. Alright, we're slowly identifying everything we need. That's good. A Wand of Flame, how fitting. So, Conjure Flame works not only on undead, but it also works on mindless enemies. I thought worms were mindless, but turns out this one didn't want to walk into the flames. But other enemies without a mind also walk into the flames, ignoring them and getting damaged pretty hard. Okay. I'm still a bit spooked about this area here, and that's mainly because I skipped a lot of Dungeon 4, and there are still very dangerous uniques around here. So I paused because I have now this beautiful ability unlocked with the first Pip of Piety. Divine Energy is a very, very nice effect. You can activate it, and then you get this little thingy here. And it works like that. Every time you run out of mana, you can cast one more time without having the appropriate amount of mana to cast a spell, and then you will lose briefly the ability to cast spells at all. This is a very, very useful ability, especially if you're sitting on a low base mana pool like I do here. And that was the main reasoning for me to pick up Sif Muna as my god here for this character. I mean, Vehumid would have worked as well, because with Vehumid you will regain mana on kill, but I prefer it like that here. So let's proceed. Alright, it's pretty harmless undead on this floor. A lot of them though. And there's my first wand of digging. So I bring up this list. You can find this little list with this button. You can bring it up with that. And here you can manage your auto pickup settings. And I don't want to pick up any more wands of digging because I already have one, and normally I don't need more than one across the game. My first jelly, that's actually a mindless enemy, so sadly I was not able to pull up the Conjure Flame here to show it, but it's okay. So I feel like I should be able to Flame Tongue him down. I was right. So by now I have not enough spell levels to learn Fireball. That's something we're gonna keep working to achieve. Alright, my first Ogre. These guys are always bad news, so I start hitting him from afar with some Throw Flame spells and block the path with Conjure Flame. With enemies like Ogres with considerably high hit dice, it can happen to you that they just will walk into the Conjure Flame, ignoring the fact that they take a lot of damage. That's good and bad at the same time, because Conjure Flame deals really a lot of damage. But on the other hand, you have a giant in your face smacking you. Okay, we're at Dungeon 6. And I don't like this situation too much. I'm gonna take another downstairs. Work around in my face. Ah, well. I feel like I should be able to burn it down quickly enough. I'm not as weak as I was before. So, I was right. So here you can see I'm at 0 mana. I cast the Throw Flame. And here's the minus cast. And now I'll walk a bit. And it was actually only 3 or 4 turns until it got back up. And the good thing is, this ability doesn't count how costly your spell is. You can fire a level 9 spell with it, or a level 1 spell. Doesn't matter. There's the Vehumid altar, but I already made my decision on this run. Can do a Vehumid run on another video, but for this character we're going Sif. Alright, so let's get back to this situation here. And this is way better than before. So put down the flame here and start scorching this Sky Beast. Since I have this Ring of See Invisible equipped, I'm not too afraid of these guys at all. Conjurations to 5, Fire Magic to 6. So let's have a look here. Oh. Still, Sticky Flame is at a red miscast chance, sadly. Sticky Flame is one of the spells I'm really looking forward to have. A Book of Maledictions. So, Takima's Dance is a very, very useful spell, but apart from that, there's nothing in it I want to have as a blaster. Because, well, the thing with hexes is, to pull them off efficiently, you need a considerably high value in hexes. And there's my first centaur. I step around the corner, and I totally don't want to use Conjure Flame on this guy, because centaurs are way less dangerous in melee than in ranged combat. That's why you want to have them in your face. That's kind of like the best situation you can get with a centaur, that is. Alright, there's a funky Rue altar with permanent teleportation traps. But we're not Rue worshipping this time. But we can actually dig into this and pick up the gold. I don't want to miss out the gold. So I still have not enough ID scrolls. That's sad because I sit on such a huge amount of unidentified potions, but has to wait. First Phantom, not too much of a big deal here. Easily killed. So I'm at the spot where being a Fire Elementalist is a good life. You have enough damage to kill off most enemies. Flame Tongue deals a lot of damage for a level 1 spell, gotta say that. And now we have the next step of Sifmuna Piety. I get protected from miscast magic effects. That's a very, very strong effect, because that means I could have used this spell safely even if it had red chances without getting any miscast contamination or anything like that. It's very, very good to have. Okay, it's quite a bunch of guys and I will get surrounded easily here. It's gonna be pretty hard to reach this space in time. Wow, don't like this. So, what are we gonna do? I feel like I took a wrong step here. I feel like I should have taken the upstairs here, but well, now we're in this corner. Time to bring up the Sticky Flame. You attach it to an enemy. It's a short-ranged spell. Really, really short-ranged. Only 1 square of range. But it will apply a damage over time debuff on your enemy, which will slowly burn them down. This spell is really awesome if you are quicker than your enemy, or at least at equal speed, because with this you can just kite them to death, basically. It's very, very good against strong and hard-hitting enemies. So there's a new ring. I have removed Cursed Scrolls, so let's try it out. Cursed Ring of Loudness. It's nothing I want to keep. Let's put the See Invisible back on. This is absolutely, yeah, this is a Gozek altar. I really love this little layout of those little gold coins. And there's a Novice Gargoyle Fire Elementalist Spirit. He has Flame Tongue and Conjure Flame. Nothing I'm too worried about because I have this Ring of Protection from Fire on, but I totally want to be on the upstairs here to escape if needed. The problem with ghosts in general is you can sticky flame them because they have no body to attach the sticky flame onto. Yeah, it's a bit sad because this spell would be so good against ghosts in general, but well, Flame Tongue did the job. There's Orc Party, so oh well. I feel like I should be able to burn them down easily. It's on level 4. My shields is on level 4. Awesome. I wanted it at this point. And we're gonna turn on fighting again, because I feel like some more HP never hurt. Alright. So I can finally learn Fireball. And now well, basically you can pretty much complete a lot of the game with this setup of spells. The only weakness Fire Elementalist has are obviously fire immune enemies. That's something you can't kill. But luckily, in the early game you don't need too many fire immune enemies. The most common fire immune enemy you will meet is the Crimson Imp. Somehow I didn't run into any of those so far, so here's the Black Bear. I put a sticky flame on him and started to kite until he went into Berserk Rage, and after that I chunked a bit more throw flame into him, and everything was good. Alright, we're getting there. Okay, that's D6 done. I want to go back to D4 now and clean up the uniques I left there, because I feel like with Sticky Flame at my disposal and the other spells at a very good spell percentage, cast percentage will be enough to kill these guys off, and they are quite a lot of XP. And there's still this scarf I wanted to pick up. So I kited back because I don't want to run to Eustachio blindly. But Eustachio is actually the one unique I fear the most so far on this floor. Menkori and what was the other guy? Edmund will be not too much of a big deal for me. But Eustachio could get a bit obnoxious because he blinks away and maybe I'm not able to hit him with spells because all of his summons. Atroc Altar. It's kind of like the exact opposite of my way of playing here. There's Blork the Orc. So look at this. I mean, this floor contains 4 really, really deadly uniques. Blork is a very obnoxious dude if you're not able to see invisible, because he's kind of like a combination of a fighter and an orc wizard at once. But I don't feel like he will be too much of a problem anymore for me. So I want to sticky flame him. And yeah, that's it. Mission completed. Okay, so 4 uniques on this floor. Menkori, well, as a mummy, he's susceptible to fire. That's why he's burned terribly. I wasn't too alarmed of the damage I took here, because the torment damage works like that. It only can half your HP, and not more than that. Actually, torment can't kill you up front, and that's why I wasn't too concerned. That's Edmund. Oh, the Flail of Draining. Oh well, no, I don't want to switch over to that. I want to take the free riposts for now. Okay, so it's only Eustachio left. That's good. And I got around 50% of my next level up out of this, which is also pretty good. Amnesia Scroll. Well, as a Sith follower, you don't really need Amnesia Scrolls. You can forget spells out of piety. Iguanas, take them seriously. I didn't take the iguana serious enough here, and you saw how much damage it punched through me, through my armor here. Enchant weapon, well, might as well enchant the long sword here. And finally a few ID scrolls, and I have brilliance now, and I have haste identified now. Both very, very good spells, good potions. So I really want to get up close to Eustachio and bring the sticky flame on him. I want to bring up another, and yeah, he's dead. So this whole encounter with these uniques would have been really much more dangerous if I didn't have all these spells available I have now. That's why I wanted to wait until I was ready to tackle this challenge. One thing I can really say about early game uniques: delay them. You don't have to fight them that early on. If you have the feeling that it could go wrong or just flat out kill you, there's no reason to kill them. It's not safe to do so, so don't do it. Alright, that's an artifact ring. I'm really looking forward to that. Wand of Confusion. I'm gonna keep that for now. Alright, let's put up this ring and see what it can do for me. Wow. This is an awesome piece of jewelry. It has wizardry, which improves my spellcasting ratios by quite a bit. Considering my low intelligence value, this is a real keeper. And I'm gonna swap out the resistance from fire ring, because this thingy has also resistance from fire and it has an aura lag. So chances are that I'm gonna keep this ring quite a while permanently on. And that's a ring of +4 intelligence. I don't feel like I need it too much though. No, I'm not gonna keep that. I really love to have See Invisible permanently on. Wow, okay. Oof, I got shafted for 3 floors. Standing in front of the entrance to the Orcish mines. Wow, this is such a worst case scenario. I want to try if I can confuse Sonya, because Sonya is really easy to confuse. Okay, we did that. I don't dare to teleport, because obviously teleport could bring me into a much worse situation than I am in now. Things could be even worse right now, although not too much. My mana is running low. It's really bothering me. I don't have potions of magic yet. What's this weapon? A short sword of venom. Oof. Okay, so let's go into scattershot here and hope I can kill off a few of these guys. Worked out not too bad here. So we're gonna do this with a sticky flame. And there's a troll. Alright, so I'm gonna teleport no matter what. I'm gonna leave another sticky flame on this dude and flee upstairs for now. That's totally fine for me. And luckily we have another upstairs available, and alright, we are now almost back on D7. Shaftings are always really, really spooky. So I gave this ogre a free hit in my face, which was not too smart, but Conjure Flame did the job here. Alright. Whew. So we need just another upstairs, but I feel like D8 is absolutely doable. Actually, D10 was not immediate death for me. I mean, my success chances on my spells are really good so far, but I felt like I don't want to take any unnecessary risk here. Let's sticky flame the centaur zombie. And the scarf I picked up before really saved my bacon here, because Sonya always comes with Kurari needles, and these things are a major pain in the ass, especially if you're not resistant to poison like I am here. But luckily this scarf repelled the deadly needles, and yeah. If I didn't go for D4, I wouldn't have had this beautiful scarf, so it was a wise decision to backtrack and clear out this level. That's good. I hear a lot of people disliking shafts and teleportation traps and stuff like that, but I honestly gotta say I like them because of the randomness and the immediate utter danger they put you into. A staff of wizardry. So this is basically the same like the ring I'm wearing, and I don't need that double. No, thank you. A staff of energy would be really nice because this would remove spell hunger. So that's a dagger of venom. Always keep an eye out for blue sheen on enemy weaponry. This is usually a sign of branded weaponry, and you don't wanna... Let's just say you don't wanna stumble into branded weaponry without getting a fair warning, because some of those weapons are really deadly. Alright, we got our fourth pip of piety with Sif Muna. And I totally overlooked that I gained the third. You can call upon Sif Muna for magical energy. This is basically a channeled ability to regain your mana, which is really strong. Really, really strong. But to use it properly, I will need a few ranks of invocations to do so. So we have this little mini vault here with the human and his hogs. It's actually really dangerous. So, time to put up some fireballs, since I can already cast them pretty safely. And I still have the plus cast effect from Sif Muna available. And look at this beauty. I can keep casting fireballs even though my mana is too low. I can even sticky flame these hogs. But be careful with hogs, they are quicker than you. And hit quite hard. Okay. So this whole little vault was a lot easier to manage with the free spells I get from, or the, I don't know how to call it. This divine energy thing of Sif is really, really strong. It's a very, very good ability. Okay, a Nemelex altar. And yeah, every time you run into undead, use Conjure Flame to get some freak damage into them. It's really cool. Alright, so can I learn Inner Flame? Yes, I can. Well, I don't use Inner Flame too much. But to give you a quick explanation on how it works, Inner Flame works exactly like an Immolation Scroll, just as a single target effect, which means it puts an Inner Flame on an enemy, which will let him explode once he gets lethal damage. Well, this is a double-edged sword. If stuff walks into your face and is Inner Flamed, you will suffer pretty brutal fire damage and can kill yourself with it. That's why I usually don't use it too much. You can achieve nice combo hits with it, that's for sure. But considering how low my mana resources are, I don't wanna opt into that. Berserk enemies, by the way, really love to walk into Conjure Flame as well. Or Sky Beasts, obviously. So, I wanna walk back and regen back up my mana. As a spellcaster, or no, as somebody who relies on spellcasting to kill off stuff, you are absolutely defenseless once your mana pool is low. That's something to keep an eye out for. So I found a ring of magic resistance, and that's something I gladly swap out the See Invisible for. Okay, there's a yak. Looks like a whole yak pack. Yaks tend to walk into Conjured Flames as well, but you can just keep them away from you as well with it. Which is good, because, well, yaks can kill spellcasters pretty easily. A Cobalt Demonologist. That's spooky. These guys can summon demons. And not only minor demons, but fully fledged demons. And there's a lot of evil stuff that can show up from them. So I take the step forward and another step forward, because I really want to sticky flame him and kill him off as quickly as possible, before he has the chance to summon too nasty stuff here. Alright. A Shining One Altar. A Rune Hand Crossbow. Normally I like to have this stuff, but since my basic kit is 100% ranged, what was that skill? Conjurations level 9. But since I'm running a 100% ranged kit, I don't feel like I need a ranged weapon all too much. I would prefer a good melee weapon as a secondary option here. Much more than that. Ooh, the first two-headed ogre. These are enemies not taken. You shouldn't take them too lightly. So, right now, I like to stand in front of him, even though he can deal a terrible amount of damage in my face. While he's standing in the Conjured Flame, they die so quickly. Usually they don't even land on a single hit into you. But even if he had the luck to take a swing into my face, I still would have had the time to run away and let the sticky flame do the job. So that's why I wasn't too concerned about that. A killer bee, and where there's one killer bee, yeah. So I'm gonna cut this route here, and yeah, I don't want to get surrounded by these beasts. It's kind of like one of the worst things that can happen to you. This thing hasn't noticed me yet. Yeah, alright. One good thing about Fireball, which is worth mentioning, this spell has no hit check like Flame Tongue or other projectile spells have. Why am I empty-handed now? Must have pressed some wrong button. While the other spells have a hit check and can be evaded, the Fireball can't be evaded, which means stuff like Killer Bees, which feature a pretty high evasion rating, can get killed very, very easily with just one Fireball. That's why Fireball is such an amazing and good spell overall. This Quasit is fire resistant, but not fire immune. Alright. Also, Stair Dancing is a very, very good strategy for spellcasters. And since I have now all my spells at a very, very good failure chance, and the spell power is pretty okay. I mean, Fireball could be a lot higher, but overall, I want to drop Conjurations and Fire Magic at this point, because I won't have too much benefit from skilling this further, and maybe I will run into something completely different to continue my path. So there's no reason to max out these schools, even though I could, considering that I'm a Sifmuna worshipper. But for now, I want to pump up invocations and also some dodging. Overall, this is a very, very good piece of advice to give, that you shouldn't train stuff you don't have right now. This means a good example was my transmuter run with my Draconian I played, on which I was really hoping for a statue form spell, and I kind of like prepared the whole game for this spell and it never showed up. And this can happen to you, so that's why I don't want to pump up conjurations or fire magic anymore right now, because, well, maybe I don't find any more fire magic spells. But this most likely won't happen with Sif Muna. With Sif, you get potentially every single spell in the game sooner or later, which is really good. One of the main qualities of this god. A food shop. Hello, food shop. And a hippogriff. Alright. So let's drop a flame and yell to attract this beast. And look at that. It stepped into the flame. Silly thing. One good thing about invocations to know is it also increases your base mana amount. Another thing why I preferred Sif above Behumit, because Behumit is a 100% passive god. You never ever will level up invocations with this god. I think you can't even level up invocations if you're following Behumit, which means another source of extra mana points would have been locked for me, and that's something I don't want to see happen. And there's Erica. Okay, I'm actually really happy to face her because she has a scimitar of flaming, and apart from her confusion and slow, it's pretty okay to beat her. She has a lot of HP though. So first things first, we gotta sticky flame her. And, well, can I confuse her? Nah, 50%. That's really not enough. We can put on a throwing net though. Got slowed. Didn't matter in the end. So I have a scimitar of flaming, and she had a wand of acid for me. Ooh, this could have been really dangerous. Alright, +2 scimitar of flaming. Not bad. Something you wanna hold on to. Book of Misfortune, a lot of hex-based books so far. Is there anything I really want to have? No, actually not. Right now, my biggest interest lies in another source of elemental damage. And there's a fully fledged yak pack, so I go all the way back to find a narrow spot where I can drop down a flame. Because once these beasts swarm me, I'm really quickly dead. They can kill me off so quickly. Really gotta be careful with these. As a spellcaster, two types of enemies are really dangerous for you. First type are stuff like these yak, featuring very high base HP and a considerable high amount of base damage. These are really spooky enemies as a spellcaster. The other category, which is really dangerous as a spellcaster, are strong ranged monsters like centaurs or centaur warriors. Everything that can repeatedly shoot very strong ranged attacks in your face. These can end your life really quickly as a spellcaster too, because as you can notice, my defensive values here are, well, limited. Let's call it like that. But right as we were talking about, I found a pair of gloves, +1. That's good. Every little point of armor class matters here. Hello there, Okawaru. So that's D9 done. I'm gonna go down to D10 now to finish this whole thing off. And hopefully I'm strong enough. This is the first spot I'm willing to head back into the lair if stuff gets too dangerous. But I want to try to clear out. So I found a book. Awesome. That's really awesome. This has Iron Shot in it, which is a very good single target damage spell. I want to learn this immediately. And for now, I feel like I have enough points in fighting. And I want to focus into earth magic because I want to bring this spell up as quick as possible. But yeah, we're gonna stay like that. I don't need Iron Shot too quickly right now. I mean, it's cool to have it, but it has time. So yeah, time for some Fireball. Fireball is a very, very amazing spell to kill off killer bees, just like that. So my mana is gone, but with Sif, you never really run out of mana. That's one thing I really love about this god. And there's the troll. I don't want to fight him without mana. So let's go upstairs. Regen up and go back downstairs. Wow. These guys really hurt a ton. But yeah, that's another thing with Sticky Flame. You can kill off these enemies which are simply too dangerous to fight in melee. And another very, very good use of Sticky Flame is you can uncover invisible enemies with it. To do so, you need to hit uppercase Z and select the spell and select the tile. Now it burns. If you don't go for uppercase Z, the game will tell you that there's no enemy in sight and you can't aim it at anything. With uppercase Z, you can just pick a tile where you want to cast the spell and just take your best guess. A Phial of Floods. Yeah, why not? With these thingies, you can summon a Fire Elemental in the face of an enemy. And I derped Sonya. Whoops. So, she's confused now. And what the heck. I'm gonna toss a Fireball in her face, because this whole Kurara thing on her really freaks me out every time. This is so spooky. And she was also wielding a distortion branded weapon, which is also very, very spooky. Electric eels are really easy to kill as a Fire Elementalist. Overall, I really want to pick up this blowgun, especially since I have Kurara needles to use. Yeah, electric eels. I am resistant to electricity, so these are not that spooky anyways, but fire-based spells will create clouds of steam, and steam hurts enemies. So every time you cast a fire spell into water, you create fields of lingering damage, which kills off electric eels pretty decently. And by the way, they block lines of sight, so yeah. And there's the Crimson Imp I was waiting for, but I feel like, yeah, with this +2 Scimitar I can just melee him down. If you ever run into the situation early game where you can't kill a Crimson Imp as a Fire Elementalist, because they regenerate insanely quick, the easiest way to deal with them, if you can't kill them, grab them, bring them to an upstairs, go up to a level which you've already fully explored, go upstairs, wait until they blink, and leave them there. You don't need to kill everything you meet. That's a very good way to deal with these enemies. So, that's D10 done. Oops, I didn't want to go that way. I feel like I want to take my first trip into the Lair now, because, well, I don't have resistance from poison. That's one thing I don't like too much. But apart from that, my preparations here are pretty solid, and I feel like I can do it. So Lair features a lot of high HP and hard-hitting monsters, and a lot of poisonous monsters, and a lot of quick monsters too. Yeah, that's basically it. A good thing about this run is that I ran into this digging wand pretty early on, and I can dig kill holes. This is not a good example of a kill hole. I'm gonna explain it later how kill holes work when I manage to bring up a better one. So I ran into the corner of this map, so that's why I couldn't dig deeper. Alright, I feel like I want to wrap this episode here up and continue with the lair on the next episode. It's a good spot. So far, thanks for watching. I hope you're going to tune in again when the adventures of this little fire elementalist continue. And until then, enjoy your time and see you guys soon. Bye bye.